Final Fantasy series is an anthology where you don't need to play one game in order to understand or appreciate another game in the series. You can start anywhere, anytime. In my last video, we talked about Final Fantasy V, so today we're talking about Final Fantasy VI and 3 reasons why I think it might be one of the best starting points in the entire series, and 3 reasons why it might not. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the pros. Pro number 1 is its deep character-driven story. Unlike earlier games that centered around a single protagonist, Final Fantasy VI is built around an ensemble cast. You follow characters like Terra, Locke, Celeste, Edgar, Sabin, Cyan, and much more, each with their own motivations, arcs, and emotional depth. Themes like identity, grief, imperialism, and hope are explored in ways that feel surprisingly modern, and the second half of the game, after the world changes dramatically, elevates the stakes and character-driven development even further. For players looking to experience what makes Final Fantasy storytelling legendary, this is one of the strongest examples. Pro number 2 is its customization without feeling overwhelming. While Final Fantasy VI doesn't have a traditional job system, it introduces the Esper System, letting you teach any character magic and stat boosts through summoned creatures. It strikes that great balance. You still have unique character roles in battle, but the Esper System gives you enough freedom to customize your party to fit your playstyle. It's flexible, but not overwhelming, especially compared to more complex systems like Final Fantasy V or later games like Final Fantasy VIII. And pro number 3 is its iconic presentation and music. From the haunting opening sequence with Magitech armor to the unforgettable opera house scene, Final Fantasy VI delivers cinematic moments years ahead of its time. The Pixel Remaster enhances the visuals beautifully, and Nobuo Uematsu's soundtrack, especially tracks like Dancing Mad and Terra's theme, is among the best in the entire franchise. If you want your first Final Fantasy to feel like a complete experience with world-class storytelling, music, and drama, Final Fantasy VI absolutely delivers. But like with any video game, none of them are perfect, so let's talk about the cons. Con number 1 is its slow early hours. Final Fantasy VI intro is rich with world building and atmosphere, but for a new player, it can feel slow to get going. You bounce between characters frequently, and it takes time before the story fully gels and the world becomes open. For players expecting immediate action or narrative payoff, the early pacing could be a hurdle. Con number 2 is the balancing issues in the second half of the game. Halfway through the game, when the world opens up more, the game becomes non-linear, but also very easy to break. Some characters and spells become ridiculously overpowered, while others feel underwhelming. The story remains strong, but the combat loses its edge, especially if you're someone who values consistent challenge. And con number 3, the Esper System can flatten characters. While customization is a plus, the Esper System can lead to homogenized characters if you teach everyone the same magic. This can undercut the individuality of each character, making the gameplay feel more samey in the late game if you're not deliberate about who learns what. So let me know in the comments below whether or not you're planning on starting with Final Fantasy VI. And if you're thinking about maybe starting elsewhere, where are you thinking about starting your Final Fantasy journey? And if you've already started playing these games, what was your very first Final Fantasy game? So with all of that said, I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.